It's been a while since my last Battlefield update video. Nearly 2 weeks have gone by now, and I've been concentrating on some of my other gaming franchise passions. But after yesterday's quarterly EA investors call, we've got more Battlefield news to talk about, and with this one, it was just as much about what was said as what was not said. My name is LtBuzzLitebeer, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see, please make sure to hit that big, beautiful subscribe button and ring the bell to stay up to date on all my latest uploads. Let's get this one started. Every time I find myself in a moment of weakness and booting up 2042, hoping that somehow, some way, it's dramatically improved during my absence, I get a jolting reminder of why I do not want to play this Battlefield title. And this is coming from someone that has literally spent thousands of hours and decades immersed into this franchise. 2042 is still heavily populated by bots. Update 0.4.0 temporarily brought back a very small fraction of the player base who were probably just interested in the changes but have since left again, since the game hasn't really improved. Today's Steam charts numbers are pretty much where I see 2042 on a daily basis, somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 concurrent players worldwide on PC, and I know it's not the whole picture as it excludes consoles, but it does give us a basic idea of where the game stands. Now, I'm not going to show you the graphics, but both 1 and 5 are still topping 2042 for player counts, and I personally don't see that changing anytime soon. So let's move on, and jumping up to yesterday's quarterly EA investors call, and I'm just being honest here, these calls are quite boring and mundane, but they do bring to light certain facets of a game or franchise's performance overall, and yeah, I attended the call, and there seems to be a lot of clickbaity headlines flying all around from that call. People are reading into some comments said by Andrew Wilson, EA CEO, concerning Battlefield 2042. Actually, it wasn't concerning Battlefield 2042, and I wanted to lay down exactly what he said. And this all begins with a question, actually from an investor who called in, and he asked about Battlefield 2042 specifically. And the first part of this question referenced a previous statement where Wilson said that EA was willing to invest more into the franchise, meaning the Battlefield franchise, over the long term. And then the investor asked his follow-up question: has the mindset changed in the past few weeks given the lack of resurgence from the latest update? So the investor is clearly referencing and referring to the player counts and how update 0.4.0, slated as the biggest update in the history of Battlefield, really has done very little to attract players back to the game. And now here is the exact response from Andrew Wilson: no. And again, we take a long view here. This is one of the great franchises in our industry, built by one of the great teams in our industry. And our expectation is that we'll continue to grow and be a really important part of our portfolio for many, many years to come. We've got incredible leadership over that team now. They're rethinking the development process from the ground up and really using kind of the Vince Zampella / Respawn model to get the fun as quickly as possible. They've been doing thousands of updates for the community, working on quality of life and really getting the core game right. I think there's still more work for us to do there, and the team is committed to doing that work for the community. And beyond that, once we get to a place where we feel like we're in the right place with the core experience and with the core game, then you should expect us to invest and grow beyond where the game is at today. There's nothing, not a single reference or nuance directed towards saving Battlefield 2042. In fact, Wilson doesn't even mention the game by name, not once. Even the EA graphics included in their press packet from yesterday still identify Battlefield 5 and not Battlefield 2042. Now, you could try to chalk that up to a simple oversight at EA that the graphics department just made an error, but then this would be the same mistake we saw on their last investors call press packet. And this is a company that cherishes decimal points, X's and O's, dollar signs, return on investment, net earnings. Point being, they are very specific. They don't strike me as the kind of group that would accidentally make such an egregious error. No, that is intentional. They are trying to erase any connection to 2042. They're trying to wash their hands of the tragedy and move on as quickly as possible. And these kind of graphical emissions and omittances, they may, seem small to you, but it is these small omittances, not making mention of 2042 during his response, using Battlefield 5 graphics instead of 2042 graphics. This is how you begin to rewrite history, especially a history that isn't favorable for you. Now, I fully expect not far in the future, you're going to be able to ask Andrew Wilson about Battlefield 2042, and he's going to look at you and ask, what game? So when you read over on Twitter this tweet from Battlefield Bulletin stating, quote, EA is not throwing in the towel with hashtag Battlefield 2042 just yet, I believe this is just so far out of context, I can't even begin to defend it. The second part of their tweet is accurate because it is a quote grabbed directly from what Wilson did say, but the hashtag of Battlefield 2042 is truly misleading. Zempella is leading the development team, and they are rethinking the development process. There's nothing in this statement that says Zempella and his leadership council are now in charge of revamping and improving Battlefield 2042. And if you were Zempella, would you seriously want that task? To be brought in post-launch after the game has laid one of the, if not the biggest launch failures in the history of AAA games, would you seriously want that task of trying to take a game that made every fatal error in development and then being asked to make every wrong a right? Seriously, would you? 2042 is not only broken, but developed in such a way that it literally took every single core component from previous Battlefield titles and then went in the exact opposite direction. It would require a total teardown and essentially a redesign from the ground up, millions more dollars, years of development to make it right. And personally, I thought this response to the Battlefield Bulletin tweet pretty much summed it up. If you want to make a game with goofy characters, heroes with abilities, and clown suits, then make it. Make a new IP. Don't call it Battlefield. We want Battlefield to be Battlefield classes, armies and factions, destruction, sound and music, atmosphere. This is Battlefield. I don't want to shoot copies of Angel. Spot on. So in the end, what Wilson is referring to is the future of the Battlefield franchise, not 2042 specifically. That's what Zempella and Marcus Lato are working on. They were brought in to handle the future release, not to just try and save 2042 from the smoldering ashes. And in terms of where 2042 is sitting right now, expect Season 1 to arrive delayed and lackluster sometime in summer, and expect the following Season Pass content to follow that same trend, and then expect the game to get marginally better while the team at EA DICE methodically attempts to erase any mention that this game ever existed from the history books. Hell, even Portal, which for me is really the only thing popping for 2042, has still not been truly developed and recently had its core experiences reduced. I mean, I'm done with this one for now, and I don't want to get into a tizzy for the rest of the day because I went off on a what the hell were you thinking rant. There it is. There's the truth behind what Wilson said. He made no mention of 2042. He made no attempt to say that EA and DICE are dedicated to making 2042 the love letter to fans that they initially promised. It was general statements concerning the future of the franchise and nothing more. Where it goes and how it develops from here, I think we can all see the writing on the wall. Who knows, maybe I'm way off base, and I would appreciate your feedback in the comment section below. Remember to smash that big, beautiful subscribe button and ring the bell to receive those future upload alerts. If you could also rate and or share this video, it would be greatly appreciated. You can find and follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and over on my community Discord server. Links to all my socials in the video description below. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.